Coming at you from Scratchable Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite World of the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. Sitting across from me, he once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. It's Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And coming to us through the internet, the magic of the internet. She'll drink up all the Hennessy you got in your shelf. Her name is M.
Hey, how's it going?
And it's your chance to do the hump. Mr. CJ, how you doing, brother?
Howdy ho. Doing good.
Do the hump, dude.
Here's your chance to do the hump.
Did it, baby.
Oh my god.
Bet you didn't think I'd hold on to that, huh?
No.
We recorded like an episode and a half since that band was brought up. So welcome, friends, to another episode of Rage Across the Internet. If it's your first time, this is a show where me and my dear friends here, fellow goons, talk about various aspects of World of the Apocalypse. If it is not your first show, welcome back, nation.
Yeah.
We got something a little fun for you today.
Yeah, well, because technically it's an RP episode.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is weird,
Right.
because we just spent the last 20 minutes going over the schedule. And I was paying attention the whole time.
Until 10 seconds.
Until 10 seconds ago. Because I opened it like a regular episode.
Right.
I don't know why I did that.
It's fine. It's fine.
I guess it is.
Guess whose show it
Something
is.
a little different.
It's true. So yeah, here is the thing. You are expecting another Let's Play. And we got great news for you. So the next Let's Play is the Chronicle opener. 2 weeks from where you're listening to this. I don't know when they're listening to this. They could be listening to this at any point.
Who knows?
We're all liars now. The next Let's Play episode is the Chronicle opener.
Yeah.
Hooray. So we thought it would be fun to take a moment out and give you guys a recap of the first Chronicle. Well, why, Porter? Because it's like 37 hours, right?
Yeah, it's like
Ain't nobody has time for that.
Right?
It's like a year's worth.
It is. It's a lot of parts.
Yeah. There was a lot of episodes. There were 13 chapters. Several of them had more than two parts.
Right, and that's a lot of ground to cover. We thought it'd be a good idea to give you guys a bit of a recap and do a little bit extra after the fact. This way, if you're looking to catch up on what happened, if you didn't get through all the original, you can listen to this, get a good idea of where you are to start up the next Chronicle. And if you want to go back and listen, excellent.
Yeah,
But how about we recap it to a nice short summary so you can just jump into things.
Previously on Wherever Gaia Takes Us.
Guided by strange dreams, four Garu, each from different parts of the world, find themselves traveling together in order to decipher Gaia's plan for them. Led by the stargazer Falling Leaf at twilight, the find themselves in Kentucky of all places. On the island of Willow's Pass, a large triangular landmass nestled in the Dix River. Once a mining town, Willow's Pass today boasts successful summer tourism programs, as well as ample corporate sponsorships, and is to be expected, plenty of secrets. After establishing a camp, the young Garu learn of a series of child abductions, and soon enough find the man responsible, Sheriff Mike Hogue, feeding one of the missing children to a creature in the forest. Not to be outdone, Falling Leaf has a violent encounter with another group of visitors, the pack known as La Magnifique. After a tense standoff, the two packs part ways, and soon enough the young Garu track down the creature, a gorgon known as the Cedar, to its lair. Upon entering, they discover not only the sleeping beast, but its offspring, which seem to have hatched from inside the body of a nearby buck. Meeting up with Falling Leaf at twilight, the pack discovers one of their own. The Black Fury Cassie was infected by the Cedar during combat, leaving her to have to dig the gorgon's rapidly growing offspring out of her own leg. At the same time, the group was introduced to Lucinda Kincaid, the waitress who just so happened to be the woman of their visions. The young woman informed the group of the town's summer opening festival. After taking the Cedar's former home as their temporary camp, the group opts to head to the festival in order to keep an eye on Lucinda, the scent of cinnamon and cloves lingering outside the cave. Returning to the festival, the group tracks Lucinda, arriving just in time to witness the young woman suffer a near-fatal wound from a gorehound, Ryan Danes. Victory short-lived, however, with the flash of a camera, the scent of cinnamon and cloves, and the appearance of KT Nash. Attempts to attack KT are instantly stopped by members of La Magnifique, and after a brief encounter, they have to take the cubs back to their cabin, Finally talking things out, it was revealed that while the Cubs had visions of Lucinda, La Magnifique had dreams of KT, while Falling Leaf had visions of the Cubs falling to flame. Now vowing to work together, the members of La Magnifique are sent to clean up the mess from the night before, and the decision was made that the pack would swap targets, as KT was already at least semi-aware of the Cubs. The Cubs begin building their relationship with La Magnifique, as well as begin learning about KT, a waitress and amateur reporter, who publishes a zine covering strange and mysterious events on the island. Excited about the existence of werewolves, and not the slightest bit intimidated by them, KT reports that she was headed deeper into the woods to check on an unrelated story when she found them, and then blackmails them into accompanying her to the site that night. Following KT's instructions, the group witnessed a group of high school-aged kids sacrificing another teenager in a ritualistic manner, only to have Scraggs materialize seemingly out of nowhere. The lone survivor, Carter Willows, son of Mayor Declan Willows, seemed to vanish without a trace, and in the confusion, an isolated KT was also attacked by two Scraggs, whose bodies had appeared to be half decomposed. The girl had no recollection of the events.
After these events, it has been decided that it was well past time for the Cubs to become an official pack. La Magnifique's Thurge, McKiefer Bullet Dodger, set the Cubs on their rite of passage, while the others pledged to keep an eye on the girls in the interim. Pleading their right, the Cubs are blessed by an avatar of Salmon, a rather colorful greater jagling who calls himself Coho Jack. The totem claims he'll have work for them soon enough, and, dubbing them the Dream Chasers, sends them on their way with the Bonar Ricochet temporarily in command. Returning from their rite, the Dream Chasers pack the ops to begin investigating these strange goings-on. Knowing that Scraggs are not supposed to be able to materialize on their own, they return to the scene of the ritual, finding evidence that someone else had been watching the events, but little else. Returning to KT, they are asked to check on her friend Kyle, who worked at a local Wendy's. Looking into it, they discover what would have seemed like a normal meat delivery had the drivers not been armed with automatic weapons. Driving a truck from a company called Golden Way, they managed to kill one of the men, the other faking his own death only to escape in the truck. The whole pack went to check in on Kyle, who unfortunately had become a Famor. Hearing sirens in the distance, the pack worked quickly and blew up the building to cover up their tracks. The pack argues near the scene over what to tell KT, with the Blackbeard Cassie incensed that the whole pack didn't bend to her will, storms off with the Silent Strider Dante following to keep an eye on her, while Nightfang and Ricochet give KT the bad news. The process left Rico and Nightfang feeling spiritually drained, losing Gnosis. Before leaving, Ricochet gives KT a pistol taken from the murdered delivery man. Grieving the loss of her friend, KT poured herself into investigating the murders of Cheryl and Pam Phillips. Leading the pack, though still at odds, they find themselves together at Green Valley Trailer Park in order to investigate the murder of the Locke family. While they were able to make a connection to the gorehound Ryan Danes, the pack largely came up empty, causing them to return to KT, who then introduced her best friend Alana and one Lisa Cooper. Lisa Cooper was Desmond Locke's girlfriend and witness to the gruesome murder in which Desmond murdered his mother and sister, all three members of the High Street Horror Society. Following the lead given to them, the pack went to the home of Jake McGill, president of the High Street Club. Finding them both to be gorehounds, the pack dispatches them both, discovers their newest abductee, one KT Nash, who left to investigate the McGill homestead on her own.
Fleeing the scene, KT runs into the woods, dropping to her knees, exhausted and out of breath. Suddenly, out of the depths of the woods, 4 fully grown cedars come rushing towards the young woman, to be intercepted by Bodhi and Mia of La Magnifique, who were already hunting the Gorgons down. The other two, however, were free to leap at KT. The world moved in slow motion as the cedars lunged for the kill. KT screamed, her hands up to protect her face, while her eyes erupted in a bright white light. You could see a shockwave in the air. It hit the cedars, their flesh as if erasing their bodies, only to replace them with a kaleidoscope of butterflies. The young girl goes limp, and all goes quiet. Mia, Bodhi, and Dante take the girl back to the cabin as the pack returns to the McGill household to dispose of the evidence. Pack minus Dante sees what appears to be a armed work crew already cleaning the scene. It opts to return to the cabin to consult with La Magnifique. Before speaking with their allies, however, Ricochet attempts to quell the infighting among the pack by handing the role of Alpha to Nightfang. This, however, does nothing to quell the rage of Cassie, who believes leadership to be her right. Inside the cabin, La Magnifique awaits an info dump by the glasswalker Cheesy Dave Walsh, also known as Cheddar. Dave has largely been spending his time gathering intel and beginning a romantic relationship with Lucinda. Through Dave's research, we learn more about the island. Home of Wendy's Test Kitchen and an Avalon toy factory and a R&D center. It seems the entire island runs on a corporate sponsorship. Also on the island is a Golden Way meatpacking plant / distribution center, one of the world's largest restaurant suppliers. Honestly, there used to be a couple of coal mines, which have dried up and have been sealed up decades ago. Additionally, the string of murders and missing children seem to be largely dismissed and swept under the rug. La Magnifique suspects some level of brainwashing. Alpha Farfor and Omega Carter both take the lead on the investigation on that end. The meeting itself is cut short by the appearance of a pigeon Gaffling, a favored messenger of Dodger. It can only mean one thing. He is in trouble. Accompanied by Dave, Cheddar Walsh, the pack follows the spirit to see some of the same vans that belonged to the cleaning crew. 15 workers in hazmat suits with automatic weapons and flamethrowers, supervised by a feroctoid called Baxter. They learn that this area has been claimed by another sort of Gorgon, one that captured their friends. The crew seems to be destroying the Gorgon, capturing 2 Garu as an added bonus. A coming fray resulted in the liberation of Dodger and Dante. However, Dave was badly wounded, and Cassie lost her life. 5 days passed, the pack both mourns and heals, but are back to work once more, as Falling Leaf has not been seen in over 3 days. The remaining Dream Chasers explore the area known as Midtown, searching for their mentor. Their investigation leads them to a storage facility. The facility is more than it seems, however, as it holds a rather large underground facility that the pack infiltration is cut short by a plethora of armed guards and, more importantly, the appearance of Falling Leaf, badly wounded and on the verge of frenzy. Falling Leaf dispatches all opponents in sight and submits to a fox frenzy, fear of attacking the children. Stopping him before he could reach the surface, the Dream Chasers take the Stargazer home to rest and recover.
In an effort to appease the spirit of the once dead children, Dante, joined by the pack, moved to break into the home of a deceased Samantha Rowe in order to reunite the girl's body with her beloved Teddy Talltail doll. The pack arrives to find the family badly mutilated and follow the trail to a neighbor's house. It is there that they discover the doll itself seems to be alive, surrounded by animated clumps of meat skewered on coat hangers, bent to look like little dolls. The doll, Teddy Talltail, praises these as his family and beckons the pack to join his family too. This gruesome scene is interrupted by the arrival of another team of armed men, clearly here to capture the doll. A slaughter ensues and a single worker escapes in a van. The pack takes what's left of the bear and places it with the remains of the young girl, only to soon find out that another creature is attacking a teenager in the streets. Feeding on the human, the pack is poised to attack. However, seemingly out of nowhere, a young Garu attacked, dispatching the creature known as a bottom feeder. Her name is Carly Emberstring, a third of the Uctina, who was on her way to the Sept of the Green to find a new pack when she was abducted and imprisoned in the same facility that Falling Leaf at Twilight was held in. Following captured bottom feeders to freedom, she had been stalking them, waiting for her time to strike, and now she stands face to face with the Dream Chasers. Briefly introducing Carly to the others, the pack asks for her assistance involving some of the umbral mysteries only to open another. While until now the Garu had found the island's umbrascape to be largely quiet, to Carly it has been alive and vibrant. Aided by a raccoon spirit, Carly convinces the pack that she isn't crazy, and in that makes a sobering discovery. Ricochet, Nightfang, and Dante had each been infected by a tick-like creature who had been obfuscating the vast majority of the spirit activity from the Garu. While Carly makes this discovery, Dante finds himself distracted by a commotion down a nearby road. Witnessing another white van running down and then loading up a skull pig, he returns to the others and the group begins tracking the van to a location suspiciously close to the Golden Way plant, where Baxter escaped. The group finds a secret tunnel leading into another facility. The group investigated briefly, and after an obscenely bloody encounter with a pair of guards, opted for a tactical retreat. Returning to the cabin, the Dream Chasers got some rest, only to awake to face an even more bad news. Dante was nowhere to be found. The Silent Strider left a note explaining that Owl came to him and had called him away on a mission, leaving Carly, Ricochet, and Nightfang to deal with the threats at hand without him. Making a plan with the members of La Magnifique, the Dream Chasers, assisted by Carly and Falling Leaf, would hit Station 2, the facility under the meatpacking plant, while La Magnifique would attack the station under the storage facility. While attacking the facility, the young Garu were separated from Falling Leaf, and during their investigation, they learned many secrets of the island, including the existence of at least 2 more facilities, and the realization that Golden Way had been coaxing Banes to possess their cattle, experimenting with the effects of Femorai meat on an unsuspecting populace. After a battle with many armed guards and 2 escaped skull pigs, the pack found the remains of a few black spirals and a hallway full of holding cells featuring several previously encountered threats and potential new ones. Time was cut short, however, as the sprinklers began going off, spreading accelerant through the facility. Rushing to escape, the pack encountered a final group of guards and Baxter himself. They observed as Falling Leaf's unconscious body was being loaded into a van. The battle was quick and fierce, and in the end, Baxter triggered the explosives in the facility, offering a warning with his final breath. The 3 Garu managed to rescue Falling Leaf and narrowly escape the explosives. And while the day was won, they were very much aware that they had officially kicked the hornet's nest. This was just the beginning.
And that, in a nutshell, was the first chronicle.
Whew. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, obviously, we just hit the major beats, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of...
Still a lot.
Oh, certainly.
Again, over a year's worth.
That's true. Distilled down to just over 4 pages. You know, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah. Yeah, man, just kind of going over stuff like that, and it's like just remembering it. Especially, again, for how long it took for us to record all that. Just from the very beginning and the intensity from which it started to which it ended. The intensity level never let up. The stakes were always high. They might have been lower stakes at some times and higher stakes at other times, but like they're still high stakes at all times. There's still a lot going on.
Would you say well done, though?
Oh, absolutely. I'd say well done.
See, that's fucked up. I prefer my steaks medium rare.
Not that kind of steak.
I tricked you.
Yes, you did. I
tricked you.
You suck.
You're the one who fell for it.
You're right.
Anyway, before we continue, because we should have done this already, if you're just here for the recap, thanks for listening. I hope that was enough to get you jazzed. See you in 2 weeks for the premiere of Chronicle 2. If that's all you're here for, you're done.
I mean, I hope that's not all you're here for.
No,
though.
please stick around. But if all you're here for,
Right. Sure.
we don't waste your time. We got some stuff here, though, because we do want to talk about. There's a little more to it. You know, during that, we did have the one-off with Dante, talking about his origins. And in the interim here, we just got done doing one-offs with all of you guys.
Correct.
Doing a little bit more character work, establishing work, and we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we want to, and because I say so, and because we're doing an episode on one-offs next week, by the way.
Hey, look at that.
It's a tie-in. What?
Yeah, spoiler. Kinda. So yes, and we kind of already did the talk about with Dante's one-off.
Well, you know, we've done the roundtable already at the end of the Chronicle. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to rehash that again. I mean, it would be appropriate now, but too bad. We already did it.
Right.
But we didn't talk about the one-offs. And a little more inside baseball here is that we've already recorded the Chronicle opener.
Yes.
So these guys have played Chapter 1 of the new Chronicle. So we thought maybe it'll be fun to give you a little bit of a preview on that, time permitting.
Yeah, try and not be spoiler.
Oh, no, we're not going to spoil it.
Yeah, like it's a preview spoiler-free.
Yeah, it's our little pregame special here.
There we go. That's a nice way to put it.
So let's start with those one-offs. We started with just a one-parter with you, Danny.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun. And again, it was more of world building and character establishment.
Right.
And we can start with how the relationship and friendship with Rico and Carter is forming.
Yes, which is interesting because if we look back, Carter kind of hated you.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you were also kind of mouthy with him in the past.
At the very beginning, I can say a little mouthy, yes. And maybe even...
Didn't he threaten to pistol whip you to death at one point?
Yes. Yeah, because I was going to flip him out of the chair.
Right.
Amazing.
And that was more of, like, everybody else was doing it kind of thing.
You get on the bandwagon. No, I get it, because you pick on Peter Parker so you don't get picked on.
Yes, I
Peer
guess.
pressure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a lot of peer pressure. And again, he sees La Magnifique's doing it. And then...
It's also why he started smoking, by the way.
Nice. But yeah, he sees La Magnifique's doing it. And then some of his own pack members are kind of jumping in on it. Like, okay, well, I can get away with this too.
You can't, though.
But I can't, because he's going to give it right back to me, and I'm going to be the first one he's giving it right back to.
And he does outrank you.
And, yeah, that, and now he outranks me, yes. But being a fellow Bonar, he's going to do it to me first.
Well, I think something to bring up, too. And I mean, really, this is almost kind of like the post-mortem for the one-offs.
Yes.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
Especially since we just recorded a post-mortem.
What?
I think for me, you know, there were some fun moments. I mean, there were really fun moments in all of these.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, I'm kind of excited to talk about all of them. But I think the first one is, and it's so rare. And all the times you've played with me, I think, Danny, I think it only has happened once, maybe twice ever, that I asked for a little help in terms of series of events.
Yes. The opening lines of that story.
I wrote Danny's opening lines.
Yeah. That was like, you had a plan, and you told me, like, I have a plan. I just need you to say this.
Yep. I didn't give him context.
Yep.
I didn't tell him why. I'm like, I need you to say this, and then you're going to get a response, and then say this.
Yep, that's it. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? You're the storyteller. I trust you.
Trust me, please, and thank you.
Yep, that was it.
And it was the meta joke about Carter's voice that I was so fucking proud of.
And yes, because you can hear me laughing when that happens. That was legitimate laugh. That was like, wow, I didn't expect this. Okay, let's roll with it.
I knew I wanted to redo his voice.
Yes.
And I thought I'd just be a little meta with it. And I thought it'd be funny.
And I get it. You wanted to redo the voice because it was a little bit different from when you started to when you were using them, and you weren't really sure how to do it. But then as the character establishes, you know what he is.
That does happen. And the thing was originally, and you guys could hear it when you listen back. First of all, that's hand-to-mouth's voice.
Yeah.
Like, you've never met Mouth, but that's hand-to-mouth's voice. And then when I tried to fix it, and I just wouldn't, I would sometimes slip into Meatwad.
And you do a really good meatwad.
Like we're doing a fucking dramatic scene, and then all of a sudden I'm talking to Master Shake.
I was wondering where I recognized the tone from.
All about the meat bridge. Hey, Carl.
Oh, no.
Right?
See, he does. Yeah, it's a really good meatwad.
Thank you. But that's the thing is you can't have me while talking in a very serious scene with Garu.
No, I can't take you serious at all right now.
Right? 4-4, look out there. Black Sparrow's on the way. Fucking what?
Yeah, what is the answer?
So I had to change that voice to something I could manage better. And I thought it'd be the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. And my favorite is someone asked you too. It was like a game night in Discord. And someone's like, well, where'd you get the inspiration for Carter's voice? And your answer was fucking spot on.
All right. I don't remember it.
It was a combination of a shitty version of Eminem and 3 people you went to high school with.
Oh, like any 3 people, too. Because it was that era where hip-hop had just gotten big. So everyone was Snoop Dogg and or Dr. Dre.
Yep.
Wow.
Hindsight, there's some Jesse Pinkman in there, too.
I can see that, yeah.
But I wasn't cognizant of it at the time.
But again, for that era, that makes sense because that's kind of that Jesse Pinkman character. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's probably more the vernacular than the voice. But yeah, there's totally some Pinkman in there. I didn't mean it. You know, it was unintentional, but clearly.
Yeah. But again, we go back to it. You have Ricochet. You have that friendship starting to build. Mm-hmm. Not only the friendship, but like their job as Bonars.
Chew up bones. Eat the scraps.
Go root through the garbage.
Yeah. So their role established in the Garu Nation as their given tribe. They're the bottom of the totem pole. You're getting the shitty jobs. And Carter's here to show Ricochet, you know what? Yeah. We might get the shitty jobs, but here's our advantage. Here's our way to take advantage of that. We're going to get looked down on, but that's your opportunity to get more visual of the place. You have a wider view now. You can see everything above you. You might be in the bottom, but now you can see everything up. Kind of how I'm seeing it. That's all.
Well, you definitely, we did some of Carter's philosophy as a Bone Nar, what that means to him, or perhaps at all.
Yeah.
I mean, mileage varies, right?
Sure.
But, that definite aspect of Rat don't give a fuck. People look down on Rat. Rat's secretly a badass. You forget Rat is a war totem.
And that's, yeah. When you said that to me, that helped put that into perspective. Like, Rat is a war totem. You might get looked down on, but you are still a children of Rat, of war. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's like, you think him, you think a disease, you think it's stealthy or slinking about. Fuck you. He's a war totem, so fuck you, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like it. It's cool. I like the Carter's philosophy helped me cement that in, and it helped me gain that trust with Carter. And it helped me build the friendship that should be there.
Yeah, it's starting that character building. And obviously we tied it to the plot. You did have a mission, which ultimately didn't go anywhere, but that's not the point of it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, the other thing I wanted to do, which was important to me, was ape White Men Can't Jump.
And my favorite part was a couple days before we were recording? And you and I were just talking like we always do. It was just like on my way home from work one time.
Yeah, gave you a little hint.
Yeah, like
to the future.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with a little Wesley Snipes. And the first thing I think is like, we're gonna do some tax evasion.
Well, see, the beauty is I knew you would never get the reference, and it was vague enough that you could sit there and go, "Am I fighting vampires?
Yeah, am I going to fight vampires?
Am I going to bet on black? Am I going to be a passenger in a plane?
Am I going to go fight Sylvester Stallone with a helmet on?
Am I going to play in the major league?
There's so many options." And the first one I thought of was tax evasion, and I was like, that can't be that. Bonars don't have that kind of education.
You need a job to maintain.
So, like, all right, so there's so many options, so many possibilities, but I know at least Wesley Snipes is going to be part of it. And White Man Can't Jump.
I thought it would be fun.
It was fucking perfect. Because you said as soon as we got to that playground and there was basketball playing, I fucking knew. I knew right away. Because the movie was on TV like 2-3 weeks beforehand, and I'm just laughing my ass off because I knew fucking right away we're fucking playing basketball.
Win for money. You know, like that was part of it. And actually, I was kind of aping something that happened years and years and years, like fucking high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the original Silent Howl games.
Ooh, wow, okay.
It was Ron's, I believe, first story. Or one of his first stories.
Sure.
You know, the idea was him and Sekhmet on a mission, and they were kind of bonding because Sekhmet was not into this kid hanging around.
Which makes sense.
Right. Like, it was the point. Because Sekhmet, you know, he's always off on missions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this time I got to play. These two haven't bonded. They're going to go bond. And Ron was going to try to hustle Poole to make some money and prove his worth. And he got hustled. And so Sekhmet comes over. Fucking king shit.
Yeah.
Says double or nothing. He scratches on the 8.
Ooh.
So I just completely fucking borked it immediately.
On purpose?
No, it's just what happened. The rolls happened.
Embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like I just got fucked. And so, you know,
Embarrassing.
right? And so Uncle Phil, as he was described, Uncle Phil's laughing at me. He's counting his money in his head. And so I just turn around and fucking broke his head open with a cue ball. Like, we ain't paying this. Are you kidding me?
My favorite, I think, of the whole scene was, and you told me afterward, that I was not winning that game.
No, because, and that's why I was inspired by that moment. Right. I'm like, no, you're going to fail and then have to beat these kids up.
Yeah, that was your plan the whole time. But it was funny because when it came to that winning shot, right? And I'm like, okay, I got this. Like, we're tied. I'm like, I just need some good dice and this will be good. I'll look good in front of Carter. And I rolled. Now, I didn't know you had already planned on me missing the shot, no matter what happened.
Right.
I didn't know that was
you were
your plan.
screwed anyway. I was going to storyteller. Yeah, you were screwed.
But I did this myself. I rolled a 0. Like, no successes. It wasn't a botch, but it was absolutely 0 successes. And I was dumbfounded, and I couldn't help but just laugh. And I couldn't even say my answer to Porter when he asked what I rolled. I couldn't, and I ended up like editing like almost 20 seconds out of that because it was just me laughing. It was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary to keep in there, but I'm laughing, and Porter looks down at my dice and he goes, "Oh, this is fucking perfect." I couldn't have rolled it better for you.
It's true. I didn't have to put my thumb on the scale at all.
Yeah.
I was gonna, unapologetically. But
Well, you had a plan. You had a story to write. And
it wasn't about winning the fucking big game. It was about this hilarious scene where you guys beat up a couple of teenagers.
Oh, man.
Use your ill-gotten gains to buy a couple hot dogs, you know? Fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, so the one-off like this is the place for that.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's for that. And it was, I had such a good time with that one. Because again, that story ultimately means nothing. It didn't push the plot any farther. Nothing was gained from that. No, I don't want to say no information was given, but enough of the world was, shown.
Well, and we'll talk about that kind of like the minutia, that kind of stuff more next
week. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I didn't want to go any.
Yeah.
much
Like
further
that's
into
what
that,
I'm
but
trying to make sure we stay on the right side of that. So we're not repeating this shit again next week.
We repeat shit all the time.
Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
I don't know what you're talking
you don't
about.
know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, I mean, in case you didn't know what I was talking about, we'll say it next week.
Yeah, good. But unfortunately, that was only a one-parter.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the material to stretch that to a 2 without being just redundant and kind of boring.
Yeah, I get it. We could have.
But I mean,
but it would have been, exactly,
again, boring and redundant. Yeah. Just, what are we doing here? You guys had your heart to heart. You had your little adventure. You had some fun shit happen. You had a little training session.
Mm-hmm. And then we gained a thing.
Right. And then, you got a fun toy.
I got a toy, which we'll talk about later, I guess.
Well, right now, this is a fucking dumbass hubcap. What are you doing?
It's just a Frisbee.
Yeah.
It's another, just a story for another time, I guess. I have a hubcap as a Frisbee. Yeah, that's what I got.
It's true.
That's it. It was fun.
It is a literal toy at the moment.
It is.
Yeah. But it was fun. And now I have that, a deeper connection with Carter where I can go to him if I need to.
Exactly. Now, MCJ, any further thoughts on the Danny, the Ricochet one-off? Ricochets can't jump.
I mean, clearly with that jump shot at the end, but...
Beautiful.
I thought so too. Thank you.
No, I think y'all covered it pretty well right here. Yeah, it was a fun little one-off getting to see a little bit more of Carter and Ricochet. Once again, getting to see Carter interact with Ricochet in a way that's not Ricochet trying to come off too strong to the other Bonar, who is the Omega of the other pack.
Ranked above him.
Yep.
Yeah, no one's measuring and no one's watching.
Yeah, that
exactly.
Was
no
point.
tape measures needed.
That's
Just two guys hanging out.
Very fair point.
Well, I guess that we can pivot to the Ballad of Carly Emberstring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, technically mine is next, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And yours was a little bit more involved. Yours gets 2 parts. Yours had
Yeah, it did get 2 parts.
a little bit more going on to it.
Yeah, part 1, Porter gave Carly a really interesting dream, and she spent some time hanging out with, wow, I'm blanking.
Bodhi first.
Yep.
I didn't really hang out with Bodhi though. I kind of just.
No, but it's interesting you bring that up. You spent some time with Mia.
Yes, yep. I spent some time hanging out by the lake with Mia. We did our nails, just girl stuff, I guess.
But that's funny because I planned it and scripted it to be Bodhi.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the first part was as an intention for the first part. Porter had asked me what I wanted out of it and things, and I think the first part was just kind of like a character building / figuring out staying here, making that an official decision to join your guys' pack.
And I felt that Bodhi was the guy.
Turned out he wasn't.
Well, it turns out, yeah. There was the scene, he's there with the apple and in fact, he, as she was leaving, he kind of stopped her and said that last bit about, you're looking for acrimony, whatever, but he's looking for apples and fucking advice.
Guy.
Yeah, I'm your guy. I insisted. I was so proud of the fucking line. I'm like, no, I'm saying this, even though she's going to go have the scene with somebody else. This won't work with Mia. But again, I was so fucking proud of the line. I'm like, no, this is happening. I thought that would be an interesting group, interesting dynamic as the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, fucking Carly was not having it. I don't know if it's Carly or it was M, but someone over there wasn't having it.
I don't think Carly was vibing with him, it was just.
Which sometimes happens, but.
Yeah.
It was weird.
He was just sitting on the porch. I didn't want to intrude on his day.
He was going to give the sage advice.
Yeah.
I know a little something about wandering,
It was good. It was still good interaction, but yeah, I get it. There was no real vibe check with
right.
Carly and Bodhi.
And then the funny thing is because when you write this, you have to account for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's out except for me and Bodhi. It's a big surprise. They're together.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not.
Right.
Why? Because people get on each other's fucking nerves after a while.
Had to spend some time alone.
Right. And I believe I threw a line in there from Mia's end that she was suggesting he was being a fucking baby about something. I believe that happened.
I think so, yeah.
It was very subtle because she didn't make a huge production out of it. It's like, is he hiding on the other side of the house? Okay.
Yeah, it was just like a passing comment.
Yeah. Because you don't need to get into
Passing comment that something was going on between them that was probably fleeting.
Yeah. But again, and that's the thing, is people get on each other's nerves. That's just human nature.
Yes.
Shit, I heard that was something that was mentioned about the Discord years ago. You know, when I asked somebody, you know, what they, you know, get the theme, you know, how
Sure.
you like, well, no, I don't think there's anybody. I mean, sometimes people get on each other's nerves, but that's by virtue of seeing each other every day.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
it just happens sometimes. And, you know, that's only a big deal if you let it be a big deal. Or at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I made the point of, like, they're on opposite ends of the fucking building because there's something going, they're fucking feuding at the moment.
Yeah. You speak of your pack like brothers and sisters, and so of course they feud like siblings.
Yep. And so, you know, she goes out there and bonds with Mia instantly. Having a little makeover and fine. He's just like wanted me to do the voice and junk.
Well, you did fucking perfectly, though. Because
Hilarious.
she felt the vibe with Mia. Mm-hmm. It was very obvious she was getting that vibe. She was way more comfortable being around Mia. And then you took that, at least this is how I'm perceiving it, you took that and like, okay, well, if she's more comfortable, now Mia's more comfortable. Mia's feeling like, oh, good, I can be a girl again, at least for 5 minutes. And not just this badass, you know, jawbreaker.
No, like she just is that though.
Yeah, I get that, but like,
But that's not a mask she put you. Mia is just a badass.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not
Mia
saying
has-
otherwise.
Mia's also a bit more like, she's described in her looks as being a bit more approachable than Bodhi.
Also true.
I did have Bodhi with his shirt off.
Okay, so even more of a reason to run.
No, it's just funny. Which was not because Carly was a girl, but because I wanted to describe his tattoos, which I hadn't been able to do before.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And it's summer outside,
And
so it wasn't inappropriate.
it did mildly contribute to Carly not sticking around and chatting, though, too. Like,
That's funny. But I mean, it wasn't like he took his shirt off when he saw her.
It's like, oh, yeah, check this
Right,
out.
like he wasn't like, hey, the beach is that way.
it was just an unclothed man. Of course, we're gonna leave.
He's wearing shorts, which again, in the summer in a fucking cabin is
Right.
not inappropriate.
Yep, and for
Like,
how
I wasn't
you,
being weird about it. It's just a fucking...
yeah, and for how you describe him, he's a pretty fit guy. Yeah,
Well, that's because he's a Garu.
that. Well, yes.
It's like he jumps fucking over spirals and stabs shit for a living. I don't know what you want from him. Not a whole lot of, you know, out of shape Garu. I hate to tell you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Gotta hope not, at least.
What did you do today? Well, I chased down a bullet train and then hopped on top of it and had to climb to the front of it to jump down there and take on 8 Fomori, and then the fucking brake didn't work, so I had to like conjure some spirits and fight those off, and then I had to Fred Flintstone that shit. So I just ripped off the floor of the train and put my feet down until it stopped moving. That's Tuesday.
And man, I could have kept going, but I'm a little out of shape right now.
Yeah, you know what that answer is? It wasn't like I went to a pie eating contest and then fell asleep. That's not it. That might be your chapter 3 now, though.
Beautiful.
In the Dark, chapter 3, the pies have it.
Beautiful.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
Y'all. If chapter 3 is a pie eating contest, I don't even.
But yeah, part 1 was mostly just hanging out with Mia, having a girls' day. Weird dream and blowing off Carter. Or, sorry, not Carter, but Bodhi.
And, you know, the whole point there, like for me, it was, you know, Mia, it's establishing what the fuck does Mia want?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a theme I wanted to do. And then we get to the second part, which was the real meat for me. I had a lot of fun with part 2. Like, I don't know about you.
Part 2 was really interesting. Yeah, no, I liked part 2 a lot.
I know
Got to do some of my favorite things. I love doing spirit things.
Yeah, and I know Porter doesn't get to work with that a lot, and I know you like to, but sometimes, and we've talked about it before, where when it comes to like ancestor spirits and
Well, it becomes, and I want to leave that here because that's definitely for next week.
Sure.
It's about the proper use of the group's time.
That was where I was leading to it, yeah. It's a time issue. It's not always a good thing to do when everyone's playing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a time issue. So
Yeah, in the second part, we got to summon an ancestor spirit, learned a gift, dealt with some confidence issues.
which was a lot of fun. For me, I had so much fun making that character.
Was that right off the fly or right on the fly?
No, I wrote her.
Yeah, we
Okay.
discussed it
She
beforehand.
could, well, we did, but then I made the character. Right.
Yes. I pretty much said, like, do whatever. Like, I really don't want to write my ancestors.
But that's an option, right? And, because
Yeah.
you have multiples, like, it's totally cool. If I wants to write one of them,
Yeah.
sweet. It doesn't mean that one's always going to show up. It doesn't mean that one's going to be we don't know. But
Yeah, I've got a couple dots, so there's going to be a few of them, sure.
so there was one I wanted to write. I knew you give Em the option for one. I for sure was going to do one. And then we'll see beyond that. But so this one was one that she didn't know about. And I love that
That's
idea
correct.
of this Thurge that was around near the era of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't really involved in any of it.
But knew of it.
Well, it was happening,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that she was from Hawaii. So
yeah.
Pearl Harbor wiped out her sept.
Yeah.
She wasn't there, allegedly, or she didn't get wiped out in it because, she's talking about it.
Right.
There's clearly some history there.
Right. And so I had a lot of fun kind of building that character up a bit. And, obviously you'll see her again. Well, that's up to Em really, but
Yeah.
you're primed to see her again.
And I
Yeah.
liked how you did it. You had that ancestor teach her the gift.
Right.
I mean, the gift was taught by an ancestor spirit.
So I don't know what that gift is specifically. But when
Did you listen to the episode?
Yes,
Yeah, but we never named it.
never named it.
Oh, okay.
Of course I listened to the episode.
He edited the thing. He's listened to it more than we have.
I didn't realize we never named it though.
No, apparently we didn't. That was,
Or talked about what it did.
in fact, Danny went after me for that.
It's
on
not
the
that
day.
I went after you. You asked for feedback, and that
Well,
was
yeah, and then he went. He's like, "You didn't name the gift. What the hell, man?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Well, that's not what I said, but I mean, it was.
I guess
close
we'll
enough.
name it in game.
have fun with it." Jeez,
So that was a gift you've made up on your own, then.
no.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, that's from
Another
the
gift.
that's from the book.
Okay, well, I don't know
Yeah.
because you didn't name it.
I don't think it's a commonly taken gift.
Well,
No.
I think I would know the name of it if it was. Maybe.
I have a tendency to go for gifts that aren't razor claws.
And I think what he's doing is he's asking what the damn gift's name is, and I can't tell him.
Indirectly,
thank you,
yes.
thank you. I don't always get the social cues.
Indirectly, yes. I'm asking what the
it's,
gift is without saying it.
The gift was Spirit Snare. I make a roll. I do not have my book or anything or my character sheet with me as I'm in the middle of a move right now.
Yeah, you don't
but
need
you
to.
make a roll, and essentially it's a -2 to the spirit's willpower.
Interesting. Okay.
Like it removes 2 of the spirit's willpower, so it weakens the spirit.
And so I like to I like to give it a little visual flair
Oh,
because
fuck yeah, you do.
let's make these look
I
interesting.
mean, yeah, like okay, yeah, there's mechanics, but the visual flair is fun.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, it negates the willpower, but like it's a spirit snare. You're like throwing a net over the spirit. It's maybe going to slow down, not be able to move as well. It makes sense that like its willpower is kind of being depleted.
Yeah. No, I enjoy the visual flair you give on certain things like that. Battle Mandela.
That's my favorite.
That's a really good one. But yeah,
But there's other ones like
We're gonna have to talk color, but yeah, I love Battle Mandela.
it can be different colors for different.
whatever you
It's
want.
fine.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning a color that resonates with you, Tina, once, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to talk about that.
I think it was like a light neon green.
Oh, it's the green.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the coffee mug.
Yeah, it's like, but I think it's that green because of the coffee mug you have.
No, I think chicken maker.
Huh?
Chicken egg. I chose the green because I associate the green with Octana.
That's what I said.
You said it the other way.
I meant it the first way.
Okay.
It's a chicken egg situation.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was just really fun to be able to portray like Carly's actually being not very confident and like what the repercussions of that could be.
Well, I enjoyed your past life picking on you.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Do you want me to show you how to do this?
It was so funny.
It was good.
I really had a blast doing it. Because again, I don't remember the last time I got to do spirit stuff, and I don't think I have ever been able to do a past life.
Nice.
I know people have taken it before, but no one ever uses it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun to be able to actually play that out. It was a lot of fun.
It was enjoyable.
And hopefully we'll see more of them. Siege?
Sure we will. I love messing with them.
Fuck yeah. Siege, before we move on to you and Danny have any other thoughts on M's?
It's always fun getting to see a Theurge episode, just in general, getting to see what comes up with the spirits. Harley's reaction to the Gutweiler, amazing.
I'll agree.
And it's good. We got to see a side of Agaru that you don't normally see from like your typical player. So if I remember correctly, Harley's first reaction was to GTFO.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which again, scolded by her great-great-great-grandma.
Yeah.
That's a lot of greats. That's too many greats. She's okay.
It's just okay. No,
Great, okay, Grandma.
Great, okay, Grandma.
He's just grandma at that point. World War II wasn't that long ago. It's like great aunt.
I'll agree with CJ. I think the Thurge aspect made it a lot more in depth, and it brought out a different side of Carly we didn't think we'd be able to see. And again, the confidence level, and it wasn't really there, but here's how to bring it out. And I thought, you portraying that and being able to show your ancestor, I can still do this, I thought was impressive.
All right. Now let's move on to CJ, which I feel like we shouldn't have done last.
Well, it's in that order.
But to CJ, which of course Night Fangs just recently concluded, just 2 weeks ago. This one was wrought with nonsense.
This one
goes.
This one, I'll quote CJ on this one and say this one was where the dice told the story.
Well, okay, but before that,
Yeah, Porter was talking technical nonsense, if I believe him correct.
that is correct, because what you heard for part one was not the original part one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I fucked up on the recording, and we lost the episode. We recorded it, it was a good time, and then I fucked up on the back end, so none of it saved.
Nope.
So what was going to be 2 parts in one sitting became 1 part in one sitting, because I was dealing with some throat issues, and so we called it early. We said we'll record the next part in a couple days, and then I fucked up on the recording, so we had to re-record the first part. And in the week or whatever it took us to schedule that, I actually wrote a couple additional scenes. And so
And had run M's game.
yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because we recorded part 1 of
I think it was
CJ.
supposed to come before Carly.
Yep.
Yeah, you were telling me all about the technical issues before we started recording.
I fucked up.
But
It worked out.
despite all those issues, yeah, it worked out. And I think it ended up better for it.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I mean, first things first, the original premise was the same. Insofar as Dodger, Falling Leaf's not going to do it. Dodger will teach him Kylander. He'll teach what he knows.
The basics.
Yeah. Well, Dodger has some knowledge.
But that was all just said.
Yeah. I mean, there was...
In the original, that was all just said, where we actually did it.
Yeah, the whole Falling Leaf saying no was a new addition to the writing. Those little vignettes of no.
Even the far 4 part?
The far 4 part was new.
Yep.
Nice. Because that was good too.
I was really pleased with that Far 4 section.
Mm,
So you would just think the Yakuza master would tell you. Which, that was not the fucking voice.
No, at all. That was more Falling Leaf than it was Far 4.
It was, wow, that was
See, it's
really bad.
It's kind of hard to do that,
very,
right?
Very difficult.
For some reason, the Japanese bands sound like the Frenchie.
I can't even do that voice.
He's Boneyard. Boneyard. Come on. No, but so that was Attack on Scene. And, like, I was really happy with it. Because you got a little bit of Far 4 who has been intentionally separate from everyone else the whole Chronicle. You got more out of Far 4 in that little fucking dialogue than you had the entire first Chronicle.
Yeah, pretty close.
Well, I mean, not just in terms of amount of dialogue, because he's talked. But inside about the character, you know shit about him. You know that him and Falling Leaf seem to get along.
That's about it, yeah.
That's it.
and he cooks.
Yeah,
well, he's French.
Yeah,
so,
cool, because he's French.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing about the puppy,
oh, I love that.
and yes, that's gruesome and that's brutal, but like, fuck. Now you know why
got the point across.
Yeah, exactly. It got such a hard point across. Now you know why that so little affects him.
Oh, just a little bit of peek inside Night Thing's head. He's still not 100% sure if the story was made up or not.
I love that.
That's kind of fucking awesome.
I love that.
Like, it's one of those things of like, with how Far 4 acts, this could totally be true.
Oh,
This could also be something he made up or a point in his head. But yeah.
It's a possibility, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I decided for certain. It's that. There it is. Spoiler. That's true. Little Fafo had Bernard.
Bernard.
I wanted the pit for Bernard. Bernard. Papa stamped Bernard's neck. And again, how nonchalant he tells the story.
Right.
Right? So this isn't some ancient trauma he's letting you in on. This is the thing that happened one time.
Done worse, seen worse.
Right? Might have seen worse that week. We don't know.
Jesus.
I'm sure you will remember that day forever is the day that Great Bison came to your village. But to me, it was Tuesday.
Right, yeah.
It's the only good thing about that whole fucking movie.
Oh, boy.
After that little talk, it became a thing looking for Dodger, quickly finding him and setting up the, we'll do the training.
And I think it was largely the same, but it wasn't scripted, really. So we just kind of, the premise of, the tree, the trunk thing at the angle and, him working on balance and trying to not only physical balance, but mental balance and balance the rage and, trying to teach him the lesson is best as a lupus with only a tertiary understanding of human culture at all.
Yeah.
And that's where I started having him mispronounce words.
Oh, I loved it. I love Colorado?
Which that one I think I overdid, but I knew I did it originally and I liked the fact that he would mispronounce shit a little. Not like an
Still
idiot.
funny.
The only thing I wish we would have brought in from the original one was a saying that got repeated multiple times thanks to Dodger that I would have loved if it became an actual saying. Was the you gotta walk before you crawl? Because he fucked that up.
I can make that happen. I forgot about it. So thank you. I can do that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Dodger's going to start saying
thing that it was.
You got to walk before you crawl.
Yeah, it was brought up a few times in the. It was brought up a few times in the original training until it eventually became in Night Fighting said okay, this will be the inside joke. He doesn't know it's wrong. I know it's wrong, but I'm not going to correct him. This is a thing now for at least this part of the pack, and it would have been something that I think would be dropping every now and then. But yeah.
Oh no, that'll happen. I forgot that I did it. Otherwise, I would have picked it up.
Shit, I think that was a line in the Iron Man movie. He's trying to figure out how to make the whole iron suit fly, and he goes, "Sir, we have." Or Jarvis goes, we haven't done proper diagnostics and testing yet. And he goes, sometimes you gotta walk before you crawl, or sometimes you gotta fly before you walk, or whatever the fucking case was. But it's
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
In this case, it's just a lupus moment.
Right?
No, I loved it, though. It's fantastic.
Well, it's again with the lupus characters, right? It's like I want them, especially with Dodger. With McKiefer Bullet Dodger. Like how that was slipped in the recap, by the way. And no one has addressed how ridiculous that name is. I love it. It's so fucking dumb. And no one does it.
There was a little bit, especially when we, there was like a little bit of it whenever we got into like his backstory, him and Nightwing talking about where they came from.
Yeah, but we didn't address the fact that he's going to make you call him Sifu McKiefer.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh my goodness, Sifu McKiefer.
Right?
Sifu McKiefer.
It's going to be...
Yep, get used to it now.
So good.
And like, that conversation has been had with La Magnifique, right? Where he's been like, please, brother, call me McKiefer.
And no one's like, no.
Right?
That.
And Carter's like, bitch, I ain't calling you shit. McKiefer, what the fuck does that mean? Would you get hit in the head too many times? That ain't a goddamn name. Like, no one is respecting this at all. This is ridiculous. Your name is Dodger. Shut up.
And getting to see a little bit of that training, getting to like the very like basics of what is Kylindo without actually doing most of the actual stuff. Then, of course, Dodger getting to show off at the end there, which led to my fucking favorite moment at the start of the of the next episode.
Oh, the part 2s, yeah.
Where you ate shit.
Yep. To quote
like,
you,
that moment.
Yep, the dice tell the story. It's funny.
Like
too.
at that moment, whenever I made that roll, there was a good like 30 seconds of just absolute silence as I stared at those dice.
Yep. Because that's a lot of dead air I had to take out. I was like, what the hell are we doing? Why is it just blank? Like,
it's just processing.
Yeah, and then the longer I waited, the more I could tell. Yep, just processing the fact that he rolled really shitty dice. Which is hilarious, because I think, we had one botch the entire time with Jaeger Gorefist and Crimson Ghost.
Probably.
And how many years we ran that game? One botch total. And we've had, 6, 7 botches now in this first Chronicle?
I don't know if it's been that many, but I can think of 4. And that's a lot.
That's enough.
And
mostly for somebody on the Discord, find out how many botches.
There you go. And they've all been relatively innocuous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it hasn't been in a moment where it really matters. It's always been dumb shit that we could just lean into and have fun.
Yes. Which, thankfully...
It's like, oh, you broke your nose on a tree branch. Good job, stupid.
It's still a good time.
No, but it makes it funny and not catastrophic.
Agreed, yes.
Because, like,
broke your ankle while fighting a scrag.
But, like, it's the thing, though, right? Like, in the shit, if that botch happens... that can make the difference.
Oh, yeah.
And like we joke about it right now because it's always fun in games. Like I'm going to jump the tree thing and get my, catch my thing and then eat shit and swallow a pine cone. Like you're going to lose an arm or something.
If that had happened, if I think I'm trying to do that in combat, you were stuck there for 10 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
If he had botched on that shifting roll in mid-combat like that.
Screwed.
Yeah, he's in a bad way.
Yeah. Well, I think there was one catastrophic botch, and that was because you were fighting Scrag, but we also had the rest of us to help you, because he had, almost swallowed your head kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that was the broken ankle one.
Ah, yes.
Before that, it was the mouth spider. One that you're thinking of, where it swallowed my head, that was the mouth spiders.
Ah!
Outstanding.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful.
So let's move on real quick. So we get the rest of part 2. And the idea behind the part 1, much like Carly's, finding her place and making her decision on whether or not she wants to stay and be a part of this group or not. I wanted to focus on that with Nightwing as well. first of all, what are we going to do about this girl?
Mm-hmm.
And then second, if you're going to stay here, you need to find a reason to be here. If this is your protectorate, fucking this has to be home. Find home here.
Find a reason for it to be home. And then we, Eddie!
Yeah, we meet, Night Fang's new girlfriend.
Eddie.
who I have said, I don't think on record.
Not yet.
Not yet. Whose voice has been officially inspired by Miss Piggy. Eddie, I was just with Gonzo and Kermie. Will you win me another prize at ping pong?
And a super fucking bizarre moment of Agaru getting to experience something extremely normal.
Yeah. Like the 14-year-old who's never
and
had a
getting
girlfriend
to play
before.
up that entire thing.
And the innocence of it.
Not just that, and not just that, but the whole entire event in the park. It's just way too fucking normal and suburbia for him. He expects to see this in like the Andy Griffith Show if he's ever seen it.
No, and I wanted to lean into that surrealness and, the just the pure innocence behind Daisy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But behind that entire group of people.
Yeah, it's just a church picnic.
Yes.
Would be screwing with you guys during it, because it was funny. The Hail Jack was funny. That doesn't mean...
Yeah, but like, I also know the way you write. It's like, there's no way this is all innocent.
Just a fun day at Lassiter Park.
But it could be.
Lassiter Park, huh? Yeah.
That's weird. I feel like that name's come up today.
Oh, actually, my favorite parts of that was, she asked Pastor Jones if you could make... And then nothing, and then he starts talking, she and him start talking where you can't hear what they're saying about him making a burger special for him. Special for Night Fang.
You get the special golden whammy.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
As you roll your eyes
as we've heard from multiple people. But also,
are you going to sprout tentacles soon?
Daisy sure hopes so.
Oh, whoa! Hey-o.
She's a child. It's an actual child.
I was going to say, there's a line. We're getting close.
No, we're not. We're not going anywhere near that line.
Yeah.
We will make our funny jokes, however.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Because I've often preached about not doing that. But this is... We all laughed during all of it.
Yes,
absolutely. We're just having a little fun there. It's tongue in cheek. And again, super, like, not even PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Just innocence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is a contrast to the brutal violence of the world.
Yeah.
This is not a love story I'm writing. This is a Pepe Le Pew style crush.
Yeah. This could have been a scene, like, from a Disney movie.
Right. But like
there is some good in the world, but let's try to preserve it.
Right. This is a character who's going to show up on Main Street and you're going to have to duck kind of situation.
Yep. But one thing I will note for also character-wise that I remember after this session talking to Porter about it, about the idea of, it's not impossible that Night Fang willingly goes back to these little church park events. Or that sense of normal.
Oh, interesting.
Sort of like, Rune with the Cosby Show?
Yep. No, and that makes perfect sense. This is a wholesome, safe, bright spot in the world.
Yeah.
When you just got done murdering a secret base of commandos under a meatpacking plant.
Here's a question then.
And almost died.
Yeah. Then does Night Fang bring his his brothers and sister to the...
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a future problem. Now, the other thing there, I want to talk about real quick is, well, first of all, a little Easter egg, hearkening back to the Ricochet one-off.
Okay.
Where Night Fang passed that park. Where we see poor Pippin in that wheelchair, never to walk again.
Yep.
You've ruined that. He had a scholarship on the way.
All
Ruined
right,
his
all
life.
4 years.
Yup. It's
I'd become
worse
a
than that poor
doctor.
waitress.
Well, can we even go back to like Carly's and say, because still that it happened after.
I didn't ruin anybody's life.
True.
I didn't say you ruined lives. I'm just saying that
Over a
when Carly,
basketball game.
I'm saying that when Carly left the cabin, everyone was still sleeping. She was also told that Night Fang was out with Mr. Miyagi, and they were out training, which she meant as Dodger training with Night Fang. So you're looking at these three stories, and they're all kind of happening around the same time of each other.
Well, around the same time, because it's the interim between the end of Chronicle 1 and the beginning of Chronicle 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
What does that have to do with you ruining some kid's life?
You're just trying to distract everybody
Right? Like, this isn't related to any of this. He's just trying to...
from your dirty deeds.
No. See, I didn't beat those kids up. That
Was the
all
hot dog
Carter.
good? Was the hot dog worth it?
The hot dog was delicious. Yes, it's absolutely worth it.
You're right. You didn't beat
And-
those kids up. Your fists did.
See, no, you're wrong.
No, I stomped his kneecap, stupid.
No, but Ricochet didn't fight, which is, I imagine, probably not going to happen, but I imagine the story and the conversation when they get back is, Big Bad Outrun didn't want to do the fight.
Maybe, I don't know. But we're
like,
making fun of you for this, right? We're having fun with this because it's funny.
Yes, it's funny, but I can also see it, like, especially Mia would say something. Like, well, why wouldn't you fight?
I mean, that's if something said. Or
Right, but I can
Comes
also
back to
see
it.
it as Ricochet goes, well, is it the Aharon's job to fight, or is it the Aharon's job to know when to fight?
So let's run back to it because I want to get through the last bit here.
yeah.
Is the last bit with the comic store.
Yep.
And inside, I was so mad at this man.
None of us. I don't think a single person listening expected you to pick up those comics,
And
steal
run!
them, and run away.
Yep. And I'll say this, in my defense, you might not have heard it, but there was a dice roll because I wasn't sure. It was one of those moments of like, I could see Night Fang sticking around. But at the same time, I could see him taking them and running because the temptation's too good, leaving most of them behind.
That's why I made them all suck. It was petty revenge. Because let me tell you,
But hey, it's fair.
that was Ken Copeland. He owns that comic store. He's a non-vet. He's a perfectly nice guy. He loves movies and comic books and video games. And there's NBA Jam in the Ninja Turtles arcade game in that damn comic store. And they were going to play video games together and become best friends. It's CG's like, I'm going to take a shit and run because that's what superheroes do.
Clark Kent, he is not.
You son of a bitch.
That's also where I did make a small adjustment to the character sheet that I keep for the concepts.
Did you put Dick in there instead?
No, just wannabe superhero. Like, originally it was just amateur. Originally it was just like amateur Batman for the concept.
Right.
No, it's wannabe superhero. He wants to be a superhero. He ain't.
Well, he's going to learn that anyway.
This is
But it was all that trouble to give him a comic related extra care because this Chronicle.
Yeah.
And here's a little bit of a preview is we're building up the supporting cast.
Right.
And because you guys don't have a cairn, I can't just bring in new Paxagaru. It doesn't make sense to do that.
yeah.
So we're building up the supporting cast to give more people to have bad things happen to you, and by that torture you guys.
Wow, thanks.
You're welcome.
It's
Of course,
so
yeah, it
kind.
makes sense.
So we got to make you care about all these new people.
Well, we can't care about Ken yet because
Not yet, 'cause CJ
Night Fang just steals some shit first.
Yeah, he's a dirty thief. I'll end it back around. I fucking mark my words. But
I don't doubt it.
I had it all planned. I had more written in that comic store than I did for the whole fucking park.
Wow.
Oh,
We
wow.
ended up making a meal out of the park.
Yep. Which it ended up fun.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really funny that I'm like, oh no, this is going to be great. This will be so easy. The guy's going to be like, you like the X-Men? And fucking Night Fang's going to be like, do I? Oh, let's play NBA Jam.
Yep.
Hey guys, this is my friend with the video games that we can play and can read comics in a store to hang out. And he's like, I'm going to steal your Barbie comics.
Gotta spawn one out of it.
It's true. Best laid plans, man.
All three of these parts were fantastic, and all three helped build the world that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it was fun to see your guys' characters beat themselves in these situations.
Likewise.
And I'm sure we're going to see, I hope so. I mean, I'm not in charge of that, right? But hopefully we'll be seeing more as we go, not consecutively like this.
No, of course not.
But, this
You might
was...
see a little bit in the week after next.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And maybe that's a good time to transfer to a little bit of a preview of what we got in store for you guys in the second Chronicle. Because as mentioned before, we're going to be expanding the cast. Again, I want to show you guys some of these new characters, build some of those relationships, and, some time has passed. Not a whole lot, but some time has passed on the island. And, it's time to get you guys together again and see what's going on.
So, more of the relationships, more friendships building, more locations. We're going to see more area of the island that we haven't really explored yet.
Well, I know this Chronicle, and again, this is just a little preview section here, right? Is I want to explore more of the East End of this Chronicle. You guys spent a lot of time, downtown in our tourist area. You spent some time, down in the industrial district. But, you spent a little time on the East End, in the trailer park.
Yeah.
It was just a little murder investigation. So we spent some more time on that end of things for a bit.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this grow.
Yeah, and it's fun to get to see more of some familiar faces and some new faces as well.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you guys will gravitate toward those characters, or the new characters. And of course we got the old ones. I mean, everyone who was around is still around.
So far.
Chapter 1, because again, here's the thing: we played the first chapter already,
Right.
So we don't want to give anything away, but we do want to give a little.
Yeah.
Em, is there anything?
You want to finish that question?
I thought it was going to be good enough to just trail off, but anything you'd like to add?
Looking forward to?
I didn't know how to complete your question.
And is there anything
About this? Is there anything people should be looking forward to?
Oh, just a lot of great character interaction between the three of our characters. I feel like it was a good time in the first recording.
I'll agree.
I felt that they're actually becoming friends, maybe.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think
Trying not to give too much away.
No, for sure, because we don't want to.
right, yeah, no, I trying not to give too much away, but I think the three of us bonding is going to be the most important part. Yeah, the rest of the world and us bonding, with me with Carter and Carly with Mia and Night Fang with Dodger and Far 4 and Falling Leaf at Twilight. We've got all those characters that we've already got those, I don't want to call them bonds with. Maybe they are bonds, but yes, those very
relationships.
Those very easily can be stronger. But I think what the important part is the bond between us three gets stronger first.
I think it's paramount. And I will say, that first, we've already seen development in that bond as of chapter 1.
Right.
And those relationships.
And that's a development, but I see this as strengthening.
Sure. And I know beyond chapter 1, there's going to be some fun stuff in store.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And by fun stuff, I mean horrifying.
Hey, it's important to be part of a family.
Fuck off. Oh,
I know you're scared of commitment,
traumatized.
but
Oh, no, you guys don't understand the face he's giving me right now and the creepiness in his eyes. Family.
Yep.
Family is
I can almost
important.
hear-
Good, nice one. Oh,
I think that's a good place to.
I think so too. So with that,
Yeah. we can't-
yeah.
guys, I hope you are excited about the new Chronicle. I hope you're as excited as these guys are, as we all are,
Absolutely.
to see where we go from this. And, we'll see you next week for a normal episode again, talking about one-offs.
Yep.
Giving you what the tools you need and what we can help to, so you can get your own, make the most out of those. And again, in 2 weeks,
For the Chronicle opener.
Chapter 1 of In the Dark. So on behalf of everyone here at Scratch Wolf Studios, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep your claw sharp, your head in the swivel, and we'll see you. Look out there! Black Sparrow's on the way!